Tosh time 1:30. Nice. That's me. I am Chris Smith Jr. In case you were wondering, I love legacy, but unfortunately, I am the last of my bloodline. After me, there are no more Smiths. Like, no more from my bloodline. What an enormous pressure that is for me to try to leave some type of legacy or some type of impact on people that gets spread across the world. So I fret sometimes. But today we're talking about my soapbox, musing and adaptation on life, on mindset, and of course, happiness. Who doesn't know who I am? Oh, that's funny.
That day on, I was going somewhere. I was running.
Yeah, everybody laughs at that shit, but let me let you know, that shit was for real. I like ChatGPT, so I'll use my ChatGPT images right there. I grew up, despite my huge and magnificent appearance, a very sickly kid, born a preemie, 4.8 pounds. If I was in a world of Sparta, I'd be in that pile of fucking body dead babies down there because nobody wants you. I was asthmatic. I stuttered until I was yay big. I couldn't even wear clothes. My mother had to keep me naked most of the time because I had so many skin allergies and rashes and stuff. I couldn't wear diapers. I couldn't put cotton on. I couldn't do anything. Like literally just come from nothing. Like nothing. So when we think about ourselves of all the things that can keep us down, right? It's got to reflect on how much you can move from where you are to, from where you were to where you are. Cool. Asthma's pretty easy. You can think yourself out of that one, but stuttering. You know, I stuttered till I was 11 or 12 years old. I stuttered till I was 11 or 12 years old. Listen to me. Cuss like a sailor. Cool. I stuttered. People made fun of me. They threw rocks. That scene in Forrest Gump, my real life growing up. You know, but challenges can make you stronger if you let them, or challenges can break you down if you let them. The mind is so powerful, though. You can kind of work yourself or think yourself or talk yourself in and out of any situation. When I was 11 or 12, I have two sisters. One's older, one younger. I'm in the middle. God, I was asthmatic, a middle child. I got two loud-ass sisters. I never got heard. I was sickly. Nobody liked me. But I know I had one thing. What was in my head was my truth, my reality, my world. I can control every single thing that went through my ears, every single thing I had control of. Of all the things that people were taking away from me or I didn't get growing up, this I always had. You have it too. You just choose to squander it sometimes. When I was 11, I sat underneath the bunk beds of my sister's bed. We had bunk beds, they were like that, they were stacked. My dad built them. There was a plank going across the bed. On August 26th, I wrote on that plank, tomorrow I will not stutter. And I woke up the next day and I did not stutter. And I haven't stuttered since. I don't know why. But I know it does work. The power of the mind is incredible, incredible. Partly that way, because of that lady there. That's Betty Lou. That's Betty Lou. Side note, my mom just had a hip replacement, Andrea, 14 days ago. The next day, she's in the hospital. Boy, this new hip is all right. I love it. She's one of 12. She has 11 siblings. She's one of 12. She told me when I was a kid, you can do anything you set your mind to. And foolishly, I believed her. I believed her. She was also the woman that never told me no. She'd always say yes, but she never always said no. I would ask, say, hey, Mom. We stand on top of a roof, looking down that pile of leaves, like, shit, I'm gonna jump. She goes, well, dude. She called me dude, not Chris. I don't think that's a good idea. Off the roof I jumped. Right? Didn't break anything. She's like, oh, how do you feel? Just super, super supportive. Who here has kids? Lots of folks. Who here supports their kids? Lots of folks. Who here puts your stuff in front of your kids' stuff? The question is why? Why put your stuff in your kid's backpack that's yours? Most of my questions aren't rhetorical. The question is why? Most of my questions aren't rhetorical. The question is why?
Because you're scared.
Why are you scared?
Scared that they might fail, scared that they might, I don't know, follow in your footsteps and do something where you fail,
But it's a gift you give your kids for no reason. Let them fail. Let them fail forward fast and fail often. You'll be there to pick them up. And when you inspire that in your kids, they're going to go off and be like superhumans, right? So first lesson is, hey man, let's not put our baggage in our kids' backpacks. That shit is heavy. As a matter of fact, I will give you grace and permission right now to take some of the shit out of your backpack, because that shit is heavy. Pencil, paper, desk. Everybody got something to write with? Everybody got something to write with? You can do it in your head too. Doesn't really matter. First thing I want you to write down is, what are you going to take out of your backpack now, today, right now? What doesn't need to be there? What are you carrying around that's just in your way? Ooh, that light is bright. 5600 Kelvin probably, right around sunlight. It really is.
Do you want us to write an answer down or just?
Well, the question was, do you want me to write the answers or just? I can guarantee you a short pencil is better than a long memory. I know, they're knowledge bombs, they just fall out. Bam! A good friend of mine, Sean Mulvaney, said, I'm not a really good journaler or whatever. He's like, Chris, you can't be afraid of the blank page. And I was like, why? He goes, when you write things down, they often come to pass. And I was afraid to write anything down because I was afraid of like what that could mean for me. Cool. I gave a talk to a man named Zach Evanesh, who was a wrestling coach for high school in New Jersey. I had the fortune of meeting this dude. Who here knows who this dude is? You gotta be old. Who knows who this dude is? Ultimate Warrior. Dude was awesome. Yep, he was awesome. Right? Unfortunately, he died like 2 weeks after the talk we gave. We were talking to a bunch of, I think it was CrossFit owners. And he'd said something way back when that has stuck with me to this very day. He said, how dare you? How dare you ask for more? God has already given you everything you need. It's up to you to squander it. And I was like, oh, what does that even mean, bro? How dare you ask for more? You have everything you need to do everything you want to do. Why do we choose to squander? Most of my questions aren't rhetorical. Why do we choose to squander our gifts? Fear. Fear of what? I know it's a hot seat, buddy. Fear of failure. So what if you fail? Most of my questions aren't rhetorical. It's crazy. There's this rule of 7. Like if you ask something 7 times, people actually hear you, right? So we're on 4. Is that on them or is that like on you? How are you going to let somebody down? You're like, oh, I gave it my best. Didn't work out. Okay, still gave it my best. Huh? Yeah. We can only let ourselves down if we have this expectation, right? If we have this expectation, that's the only way we can let ourselves down. But what if we changed our mindset and said, I'm going to set some really high challenges, some really high goals, some really high things up here for me. And I work for it, and work for it, and work for it, and work for it, and work for it. And I just miss it. Is that a failure? What about all the good things that happened up to that point? Can we not look back and say, oh my God, look at all those successes? Had I not had a goal way out there, I would never be right here, right now. Right? We just got to change our mindset on how we perceive things to keep us moving in the right direction most of the time. I never met a man who drowned from swimming. That motherfucker drowned from not treading water long enough. Sorry, me. I believe that most conversations and relationships start with why. Right? It's a tool we use in Trident Mindset and Why Discovery to help us communicate with the people we love and groups. There are 9 whys. You guys might have heard them. They're from Simon Sinek. We all fit in one of those 9 categories. It's how we think, not necessarily intrinsically, but how we think, how our brain pan works, how our operating systems work. My why is to find a better way and share it. So if you've ever met me, what's the first thing I want to do? Tell you a better way to do it. Every single time, every person I ever meet, I'm going to tell you. Because it makes me feel real. It makes me feel like Chris, and I'm going to do it every single time. When I was younger, but now that I'm older, I'm like, ooh, Ferris, my way is better. But I'm going to listen to your way this time and be okay with that. Cool. My wife's why is challenge status quo. My wife's why is challenge status quo, which means she's going to challenge every single thing that comes out of my mouth. Not because she wants to argue, that's just who she is. But if I didn't know that about that lady over there who I love so dearly, I was saying, always, all the time, can I not get a word in? My way is better, baby. She's like, but what if this, or what if that, or what if this, what if that? I'm like, ugh. So we had to make a pact with each other. Since she knows that I always want to have to find a better way and share it with every single thing I do. Now I know that she is just going to challenge things because that's just what she does. I get to ask, oh, baby, do you want me to solve your problem or just listen? And she says, just listen. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I solved her problem a long time ago, the way my brain works, right? I'm an engineer, right? So having that ability to communicate, knowing things about ourselves allows us to create relationships that are impactful and everlasting. Makes sense. How I do things is by solving problems. And then what I do is create out-of-the-box solutions. That's just how I work, right? And I know that about myself, and it makes me feel very, very confident and stable in my life. She knows that about me and makes her feel, hopefully, confident and stable in the way I act. Easy peasy. Woo! Those are the 9 whys. You guys can just jot those down. This isn't a why thing, but you just jot them down and kind of figure out, maybe when you're talking to your loved ones, how they operate, right? That first one says, contribute to a greater cause. I like to, not me, people who like to contribute to teams, like to be team players. They want to work for the bigger organization, right? They don't need to be in charge all the time or be leaders all the time. They just want to be part of something bigger. They want to contribute to a cause that's bigger than self. A lot of people in the military are this, right? And you've had them on your teams. You're like, dude, just take some leadership. They're like, bro, I'm gonna mess that up. Because they're not natural born leaders, right? Not that you can't be a leader being a contributor. They're just not that's not what really drives them. The second one is to create relationships based on trust. If you know some people that go, man, you know what? I am your friend forever until you break my trust and you are dead to me forever. It's really, really challenging to get that back. That third one up there says, make sense out of complex things. You hear them say it, makes sense, people. You hear them say it all the time. That just doesn't make sense to me. Oh, that makes sense. So when you're talking to that kind of person, you may have to keep repeating things in different avenues to get your point across until it makes sense to them. Not to you, to them. Nice, that number 4 says a better way, that's me. I love to find a better way to do things and tell the world and share it. Just who I am. Number 5 says doing things the right way. These are people who like lists, instructions, organized things that just drive me crazy. That's not how I think. But for them, they need to have things in order, and their way is the right way. Not the only way, but for them, that's the right way. Right? If I said =7, Chris Smith says 4 + 3 = 7. So I think that's the right way. But if Ben says 2 + 5 = 7, like, nah, bro, you're wrong. But it does. For him, we have to understand about ourselves. What's that number 6 say? Challenge status quo. We kind of talked about that. These kind of people are always kind of, doesn't matter what you say, they're always going to come back with some kind of quip, some kind of thing, because they just want to explore the possibilities of whatever kind of answer that is. They're on an exploration phase. Seek mastery. These people are hard. It's a very small percent of the world are mastery, like 3%, that's it. They're the super geeky engineers that just on and digging and digging and digging and discovering and discovering and discovering and digging and digging and digging and digging. You're like, holy cow, you got it. But not yet. And they're going and going. Researchers, analysts, those kind of people there. Seek clarity. Oh my God, is it clear for you or is it not clear for you? They will ask you 1 million questions until it's clear for them. Make sense? And last one is to simplify. Take complex problems and problem sets into very simplified things. They can whittle down things really, really quickly. When you're with your family and with your teams and with your people, right, try to think about how they work, not just how you work, right? Hopefully, you're trying to create a relationship with somebody. And I can't do that if I think that everybody thinks like me, because everybody doesn't. They're all wrong, but everybody doesn't, right? So have some space, some grace, some opportunity to think like somebody else, or try to imagine how someone else is thinking so that you can understand them better and you guys can galvanize a relationship and be better human beings. Boom. This is my goal. I'm a very simple man. I want to positively impact one person. Just one. Just one person. Because if I can do that successfully, hey, I get a check mark in the win column, and my hopes are that something I said or something I did created an impact deep enough that this one person wants to go and share it with the rest of the world. She just needs one, and then they just need one, and pretty soon I reach my goal, which is to create deep and meaningful relationships to 1 billion people on this planet. I know I should speak Chinese. Nobody? God, that was my best joke all day. Come on, man. 1 billion Chinese and no, too fast? Okay, I'll slow down. Like I said, I'm an engineer. I'm a former Navy SEAL. I'm an entrepreneur, still an entrepreneur. I should change that real quick. I like extremely athletic adventure stuff. I am a husband. I'm a family man. I love dogs. And this kind of idea we're talking about today is about mindset, but it's also about, like, are we going to let our past, particularly in this group here, military past, define my identity Or am I going to recreate something else? Yes, I'm a former Navy SEAL. It comes with a moniker up there, right? But it isn't all that I am. It's not everything about me, right? I don't lead off every conversation. Hi, Chris Smith, Navy SEAL, African American, 80% disabled. How are you? That's not my lead-in. That's not my lead-in. I'm leading from the heart somewhere else. It's just a job, people. Just something you did. Just something you did. It shouldn't define who you are or why you are. But let's not forget, we can't say, oh my God, I spent all this time in the military and just cast it away because it meant something to each and one of us, I'm imagining, right? Let's use it as a foundation to move forward, right? Not disrespect it, but to acknowledge it and go, thank you so much for all the lessons you taught me. I'll come back often to get the lessons you taught me. I'll take what I need and I will run forward. I will fail forward fast and I will get there quickly. That's my job. Day 1-1. Kyle. Someone said when you're speaking out loud, you're shooting shotgun people. It's kind of bad. Kyle, what's day 1-1? Buds. Yeah, brutal, right? Day 1-1, Buds. When I went to Buds, I was 29 years old. Grown-ass man. Had a full career before that. I was an electrical engineer for Westinghouse for 9 years. Had a company car. Had a pager. Close your eyes, huh? Had lots of chicas. Running the world, living in Kansas City, macking it everywhere. Right? Like doing the thing. I was living a dream. But I remember when I was in the 26, 27 range, a guy I met when I was in high school, when I worked at Walmart, stocking Old Roy dog food and oil back in the sporting goods department. It was awesome. His name was Bruce Davis. And Bruce Davis was, at that time, our high school stud. That dude was an Adonis, walked around and just things was happening for him. He was the man. He came back from somewhere, didn't know where he was. He came back later on. And I was talking to him, I was like, Bruce, bro, where you been, man? He's like, bro, I can't tell you, dog. I can't tell you, man. That's classified super secret, baby. I was like, come on, Bruce, tell me where you was. He's like, I was at Navy SEAL training school. I was like, well, this is back like it. There was no Goggins. There was no books. There was no movies, no videos. It was just a secret society. He said, I'm at Navy SEALs training school. I was like, what's that? He said, I don't know. He said, and we chatted about it. And I was like, ooh, that feels very, very good for me. Because back then I was a triathlete, a really, really good athlete. Weighed about 120 pounds, but whatever. I was seriously a really good athlete. But I knew somewhere in my mind or my heart, I was not giving it everything I possibly could. And deep inside, I knew that I wanted a challenge to find the true self, to find who I really am, right? I knew I could finish a race, actually win the race, but I'm only given 80%. And somewhere back there, my 80%, I just knew it just wasn't good enough for me. And I was looking for something to push that forward. So he planted the seed years before I actually joined the Navy, like years before. So before I joined the Navy, I was telling everybody that I know, I'm gonna be a Navy SEAL. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna be a Navy SEAL. Everybody, family, friends, every single person that knew me and talked to me, I'm gonna be a Navy SEAL. I had really no idea what they were really doing. I just wanted that sounded like a really cool thing to do. Every single person that I knew that I was going off, leaving my good cushy job. I was making $87,000 a year, baby, and had a pager. They knew that I wanted to go be a Navy SEAL. So I get to Navy SEAL school, it's called Buds if you guys don't know, and I get to day 1-1. Day 1-1. The first day of secret super duper duper Navy SEAL school, right? We have this test. It's called the obstacle course. I'm a light guy, 129 pounds, maybe about then. I think I joined the Navy at about 130 pounds. Ops course is you go over along, you go into this thing, you climb some ropes, you do all this stuff, right? We had practiced a little bit in PTRR, So we had practiced, so I was actually really good at this. I was like really, really good at this. I'm already a triathlete, pretty good athlete. Like I was already good at this. I crushed the fuck out of this course, day 1-1. I might have set in that class maybe the fastest recorded time ever, 5 minutes, 12 seconds, which is pretty freaking fast. Like really, really fast. But during that course, I was on this thing right here. It's called a swingy thing. I forget what it's called exactly, right? And on that swing thing, one of the instructors, little white pasty little dude named Mr. I swear to you, his name was Mr. We called him Instructor Mr., but his name was actually Mr. And Mr. said, I was swinging across, he said, hey, no, Smitty! Who y'all, Mr.? Black guys can't swim. Who y'all, Mr.? Finished my thing, get all done, finished the old course. I was in the front because I was the fastest in the class, so I get to stretch all day in the sand until all the fat guys got finished, which was a long time. After that, day 1-1? 1-1, what, 2 hours in? 2 hours in, maybe 2 hours in. We go to the pool next. Mr. is like this. No, Smitty, black guys can't swim. What we didn't know is we had to do a life-saving test. The life-saving test was, hey, you're in your greens, you got your boots on, got your hat on, got a little string on it, right? You go up to the high dive, you jump the high dive, whoosh, treading water. Like 40 damn minutes. This is a life-saving test, man. Like you can't join, how are you gonna join the Navy and not be able to save your own life in the water? They teach you first thing. The goal is to go down, hold your breath, take off your boots, tie your boots around your neck, take off your pants, make a little floaty, float on it. Woo-hoo, how hard is that? 48 minutes, 58 minutes. I'm like, I got asthma, yo. I got asthma. As a matter of fact, my asthma was so bad, I lied to the recruiter so I could get into the Navy. I went to my first recruiter in Kansas City, Kansas. Right? He goes, hey, how you doing? I was like, I want to be a Navy SEAL. He said, cool. He said, fill out this paperwork. I'm like, oh, it's got carbon copy. That's pretty cool. He asked me some questions. What do you do? I was like, do this. Where do you live? I live over there. What are you thinking? Thinking this. Do you have any of these medical conditions? First thing first, asthma. Well, yes, sir, I do, because I am honest. Why would I lie? He said, bye. I said, excuse me? But I'm not young. So I snatched the paper because it was carbon copy and I left. Waited a couple of weeks, went to Kansas City, Missouri. What do you want to do? Want to be a Navy SEAL? Where do you live? Live over here. What do you want to do? Oh, that's fine. Do you have asthma? No. Day 1-1, I'm on the high dive. Jump off the high dive, treading water. Failed the fucking test, man. I failed the test. We're like in hour 3. Every single person I've ever talked to for the last couple years knows that I want to be a Navy SEAL. And I can't pass a life-saving test? Come on, man. I can't pass a life-saving test. Because I can't hold my breath long enough underwater because I'm exhausted from treading water. I'm like in front of the man. Standing tall, my fucking grin's all wet. I'm like, holy shit. Like all my dreams are right here, and I'm gonna let this man, who's never even met me before, decide my fate. How am I gonna let someone else decide my fate, man? But we got lucky. We got lucky. We got lucky with the silver bullet because I wasn't the only person standing in that line. There were me, don't laugh, 5 other black guys, and 2 white guys. Just standing there, letting somebody else decide our fate. We're at day 1, hour 4, hour 5 maybe now. Like my entire existence is crumbling and I have no control. This guy gets to decide what my future's gonna look like. Don't know if you guys remember back then that you went in after you didn't make buds or became a SEAL, you go needs of the Navy, and that's like scraping, doing something not good. No, I don't wanna do that. But this guy named Senior Chief Gower comes up. And Senior Chief Gower, Black Seal, believe it or not, had come up. He had those green shorts on, right, with the socks over the boots because they was cool. He come up, and his shit was up high. Like, high, man. I'm like, bro, step it back, man. They was up there like, damn. Right? And he's there and he's talking to us. He's talking to all 7 of us, but I know he's talking to us. He's talking to us. And he's going through his diatribe. He's like, hey, you guys are thinking this is about treading water. You guys are thinking this is about life saving. This is something bigger than you. You represent something bigger than you. And he goes on and on. I was like, holy shit, this guy's fucking serious. And he says, I'm going to give you a silver bullet. I get 1 per class. I'm going to give you a silver bullet. And he puts this imaginary bullet out there, and you just take it. I'm like, damn. This guy cares a little bit. He cares about us just a little bit. It's like, back to the pool. So this is like a 30-minute session right here. Back to the pool. We run across the thing, go back to the pool, get on a high dive. We jump up the high dive, start treading water. Start treading water. Start treading water. Start, take off your boots. I'm like, take off your pants. Made a floaty. Past life-saving. But as I got older, I started wondering, I started thinking, like, how in the hell can I take a test and fail miserably, and then 30, 40 minutes later, I take the same test and I pass with flying colors? How does that happen? Physically, it's impossible because I'm more tired, right? How does that happen? Anybody? Mindset. I wanted this more than I wanted that. Right? I didn't get any more skills. I didn't learn anything else. Someone kind of believed in me, which gave me the confidence to go be successful in this other thing. And without that, who knows where I'd be? Just one person. Just one person. You never know the impact you're going to have on someone's life. Give it all you can. Questions? That was Navy SEAL to Air Force, Space Force, Bail. Sorry. 7 + 2. Somewhere I passed, I got through Buzz a little bit, right? And we're on a big old long swim, 2 miles or 1.5 miles, whatever it was, from Coronado down to Imperial Beach and swim around there and come on back. It's like a mile out and like a mile back. I weighed 131 pounds then, put on some weight, baby. Nice. The water in San Diego is really, really cold. Like really, really cold, like hypothermic cold, like really, really cold. We get down there, I'm with my buddy Todd Owen. We're kickstroke gliding, baby. Just look, kickstroke gliding all the way down. Get to that turnaround, we get to the end, and at the end, the instructor's in a kayak, right? And they make you go down for a bottom sample. They're like, hey, Smith, Owens, go down and get a bottom sample. Which means you swim down, again, breath holding, to the bottom of an unknown depth ocean, grab some mud, put it on your head, come up and go, I feel fine, right? It's a neurological test. Well, I went down and I did that. I went down, I swam, got the mud, came back up, put it on my head, and I said, laid out, man. Got me to the beach. Get to the beach, and I'm like, in my head, 100% crystal clear. Everything is clear. Get to the beach, instructor's like, Smitty, what's 7 + 2? And I'm like, 9. Smitty, what's 7 + 2? 9. On video, laid the fuck out, yo. Body's not responding, but what is working? My mind is working because I want this more than I want that, right? Go back, go to the medical shack there. I get to eat donuts. I get to sit in the hot tub for a little while to warm up, right? This is in Hell Week. Hot tub a little bit to warm up, right? You can't miss more than 2 hours in Hell Week, so I'm getting kind of close. And my mind's kind of coming back. I'm going to get my strength back. I got black spots. Like, I'm on the swim. I'm on the beach. I'm in the hot tub. On the swim. On the beach. In the hot tub. Like, ooh, that ain't good, right? But I know that I can't miss more than 2 hours of Hell Week, or I got to start all over again. I got to start all over again. So I'm like, fuck, let's go. So I get out the thing, get my clothes back on, get out to my class. Get out to my class. I get out to my class. Got ahead of myself. Forgot about that slide there, yeah. So I registered one of the lowest, maybe the lowest, recorded rectal body temperatures ever. I'll define that for you. Rectal. Up in the guts. 88.4. Pretty proud of that record. I don't think anybody's ever broke it because technically, oh, you're dead, right? Get back out to my class. Get back out to my class. I am not healed, right? Because I have asthma. Now I've got pleurisy. I've got pneumonia, right? I got hypothermia. All those bad things for my very weak lungs to begin with. I get back out to my class. I'm like, blood clotting and sputum and jazz is coming out. Like, I don't think I'm healthy. But I ain't quitting because I told everybody I know that I want to be a Navy SEAL, and it meant a lot to me. So I get out to my class, and we're locked arms. And we're like in the surf, we're hitting it, and they're like, yeah, the splashing and shit. I'm like, I'm basically drowning in my own blood, right? And the instructors are going by, they got the light because it's dark out. They're like, oh, how you doing? They're like, oh, fuck, bro. You don't look so good. They're like, get out of here. We got those orange K-pops on. They grab me back up. And I'm like locked on. All the boys are like, don't quit, Smitty. Don't quit. Hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. I'm like, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. And the instructors are talking to me, and I'm like, I'm not quitting. And they're looking at me, and I'm like, what? I'm not quitting. They're like, bro, you're going to die. And I don't know about you, but death in a training program is not good for the Navy. So they're seriously concerned about me, and I'm like, I'm just not quitting. Because that's the only thing I needed to not do. Because you can't be a Navy SEAL. Quit, but I'm not quitting. So fine, they're getting there, and all the other classes yelling and things. They're like, oh, shit. So we got the CO, commanding officer of BUD/S, to come talk to me. And he's right in my face, and I'm locked up. I ain't going nowhere. He's like, Chris. I was like, oh, shit. Woo. Chris, we know you're not quitting. You have to go to the hospital. And I was like, I don't trust you, dude. I don't trust you. I don't really trust you. Anyway, I'm sweating. Anyway, we got the K-POC off, end up going to the hospital, spent a couple days in the hospital, get out of the hospital, and I got a gift. I got a gift of chit. You guys remember what chits are? You guys know what chits are? Huh? Closed chickalets are gum. Yeah. Chits are a piece of paper that they give you that says like, hey, you got a free pass or something. So from all that, 88.4 rectal body temperature, not quitting, I got a 1 day off pass of BUD/S. And I was like, hell yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, I ended up getting recycled a little bit. Didn't make that class, had to get to the next class, which is all good. Jesus. Which is all good. Had to go through every single thing again, right? Like you go to PTR, physical training, rest and recuperation. That's a lot, dude. They just beat you down some more, right? It's like a little preparation before you actually start your class again. So I start my second class, get back to the same place in Hell Week. Get past Hell Week. We go to second phase or first phase, and we're starting to do underwater knot tying, right? Underwater knot tying. Now, I already have in my head, I got a little bit of like, ooh, underwater's not so great for me, right? Like, I thought y'all were surface swimmers, but no, we're underwater too. We got breathing things. So anyway, it doesn't matter, right? So we got underwater knot tying. So underwater knot tying, I'm down there, I'm trying to tie my knots, and they're kind of banging you up a little bit, right? And I was not doing well, because it's very, very hard, right? Because things aren't like they are in the brochure. You may read about it, it's like, oh, underwater knot tying, go down and tie 6 knots. How hard could that be? Ooh, go join the SEALs, right? But that's not what really happens. What really happens is they whoop your ass down there is what really happens. But it's underwater, there's no cameras, so no one cares, right? But I realized when I was struggling, someone said to me, you know, Smitty, things in life are only as difficult as you choose to make them. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? Oh, that things in life are only as difficult as I choose to make them. And I wager we in this room are making some things in our lives way more difficult than they need to be. Nah, you can't be afraid of the pen to paper. Let's write that one thing down that you're making way more difficult that needs to be. funny thing is that everything belongs on the left side or the right side of the equal sign, right? So whatever you just wrote down, that's to the right side of the equal sign. Let's think about what's on the left side of the equal sign. What's the equation to make that thing less difficult? What are you going to do about that thing to make it less difficult? I'll give you guys like 49 seconds to think about that and write that down. Like, what are you going to change? What are you going to think about differently? What are you going to do differently? Like, what's going to make the change? Without action, nothing changes, right? They're just ideas. Look at father like son, scared of the pencil. It's all right. I'm not going to call you out. You got a phone? Can you type? I know, right? You thought it was a free class, huh? So I taught you to shoot today and you did good? It's tough, isn't it? It's tough when you face yourself. You know why? Because you can't lie to the man in the mirror. He knows the truth, or she, or they, I don't know. It's me, maybe. Can't lie to that cat. If you look in there, the answer's there. It's just hard to find out sometimes. So go ahead and scratch that scab a little bit. Scratch it off, see what's under there. Get a little blood, not gonna hurt. It's funny, like when you look in the crowd, you see this resistance to change. You know, some people are like all in, they're like, oh, I'm writing something down. Other people are like, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Don't know why I have all these problems, but I ain't doing that. It's a long time, huh? It's a long time and it's uncomfortable, right? That's where growth happens, when we get uncomfortable. So I'm dragging this out to where you get uncomfortable and have to address yourself and go like, he's not gonna wait until, you gotta get it done. It's like when you're hugging too long. You know, you're like, oh, they're still hugging me. It's kind of uncomfortable. They can let me go. That's where it's at right now. Well, hang on just a little bit longer. Good? Nice. So you guys know I'm going to come to called Try It Mindset. Yep, this isn't a Try It Mindset picture or anything, but these are the tactics that we teach. Micro goals, focus, breath work, thought control, meditation, visualization. You guys can read the rest, right? So as I continue this little chit chat that we have right now, I want you guys to start, I want you guys to start thinking about, of these tactics, how can we apply them in parts of your life, right? So we can do a little story relativity right here. I'm going to share a story. You're going to think of a story of kind of own that you can do something with. Then we're going to kind of discuss maybe a tactic or two that we might be able to employ. Micro goals is taking big goals, breaking them into small goals, right? Who's here has run a marathon? Was it hard the first time? Somewhere around that 18th, 19th mile, what'd you start thinking? Just gotta get another block. Gotta get another corner, right? That's a micro goal. Big goal was the marathon. Small goal was 1 mile. When that 1 mile got hard, what'd you do? Break it down to what? 1 step, right? So don't let our big, gigantic things overwhelm us. We can always break those down into smaller kind of techniques. Cool. Oh, sorry, more, go ahead. Good? I love that you're taking notes. Copious ones. I don't know how to spell copious, but that sounds good. Cool. So again about micro goals, right? So think about the first things first. What is the first thing you need to do? Me and Tosh did a walk. I think it was God Zone, Tosh. It was God Zone, and Tosh was leading, and we were doing pretty good as a team. And that mug was dragging me everywhere, through these creeks with pebbles and rocks and stuff. Now my pride and my ego was there because Tosh was pretty fast. I'm like, you're not gonna wait on me, right? But I got this little pebble in my shoe. And I knew better, man. I thought the first thing first is like, God, I should really just say something to get this pebble out of my shoe. Because it's not my first race. I know that small things turn to big things. But I do the first things first, which is I put my ego aside and say, hey, buddy, I need 12 seconds to get my fucking foot together. Right? Do you remember this? We're walking, and it's, I know, it's that thing, right? Right, and I'm walking, I'm sucking it up, man, just sucking it up. I'm like, I'm cussing Tosh to death, boy. I'm like, and now that small little pebble is now like a huge blister on my foot. And I started complaining Started complaining. Oh, my blister hurts, my blister hurts, my butt's chapped up, my blister hurts. Right? And my friend says to me, hey, Chris, you know what? I got it. You have a blister on your foot. And I was like, cool, let's go. It just changed my mind. Right? So sometimes somebody has to smack us out of that funk so we can make better decisions. We got to keep the first things first. Right? Because all I was doing was focusing on the thing that was just grinding me down instead of the bigger picture. Right? So sometimes you need somebody or something to kind of smack you out of that, right? And that can be, oh, Jesus, that can be you. It's just a choice, right? Like, I don't know how his words affected me to have my foot stop hurting. Like, that, thank you, but that's on me. I should thank me. Thanking for the slap, but I got to thank me for making the decision, right? Because I need to keep the first thing first. Nice. Third thing down there, positive self-talk. Right? Who suffers from this? It's like a malady. It's so offensive we don't like to do it that much. You know, we like to beat ourselves down because it's easier all the time. Instead of giving ourselves a prop up saying like, wow, you're pretty awesome just as a human being. Well, that's not what we do. What do we do typically? What do we do? What's the opposite? Why? Because water flows downhill. Right? It's just easier. But in order to grow, sometimes we got to take the harder, higher road to get us to the more magical place. We got to put a dam in the lower road, right? We can just change that by changing just one word. Let's just choose one word to change the paradigm of negative self-talk to positive self-talk. One word. What you got? Shotgun approach. Pass. What you got? Pass. What you got? Back to you. What you got?
I want clarification. Change one word. What am I changing?
How do we get out of this negative self-talk loop? How do we get out of that loop?
Stop making excuses.
Stop making excuses. That works. Right? Anybody else?
Compassion.
Compassion. Yep. What you got? Can. Oh, beautiful word. 3 letters. Magical. Like magical. Right? You just have to get in your head and make a choice and get your mindset right to put you on a better path. In my life, I don't think it's rocket science, but it is kind of challenging. Nice. You could, you know what you could do? You could write on your piece of paper a magic word that you use all the time to stop that negative self-talk loop. I'll say it again because it's not rhetorical. You could, on your piece of paper, write down one word that you always go to stop the cycle of negative self-talk and change to positive self-talk. It could be jujubes. I don't care. It could be anything. And maybe somewhere in your daily practice, your daily morning routine, or whatever you kind of do for a living, right, or do for a life, you just repeat that word to make sure it's fresh in the front of your frontal cortex. It doesn't have to be hard because things in life are only... Ah, man, see? Check on learning, -7. That means you got to say things 7 times. So if people can hear it, I'll say it again. Things in life are only as difficult as you choose to make them, right? And the good thing is, like, you have that power. You have that power. It's crazy. And if you don't think you have that power, go spend 15 minutes. It's like 15 minutes. I challenge you, 15 minutes staring at the man or woman in the mirror and ask that person those hard-ass questions. A couple guarantees there. What do you think those guarantees are? It will be the truth. You'll be like this, though. You're dodging that shit. Oh, shit. You're dodging it. Cool. Focus, another thing that we have a challenge with, because I love Tosh's, I'm going to bastardize it, Tosh. Maybe just chime in, finger back real quick. Yep.
This pointing finger, checking with the left hand, it's for everything that you're pointing at, everything that you're using to make an excuse, make an assumption, make a rationalization, anything external that you're trying to latch onto to advocate yourself from responsibility and ownership. Turn that hand over, just keep pointing back at you. You reframe whatever that is with something that you do have control over or
Think. Yep. I don't know if he's going to do it, but I'm going to let you steal that. No punishment. You can steal it. And you can use it when you start losing focus, right? When you start doing the things on the left. Want somebody read those out real quick? Ferris, you got one? Rex? I know, right? It's kind of crazy. Go ahead. Thinking about the past, wishing about that, wishing about things could go back to where they used to be. I can tell right now, they ain't ever going back to what they used to be. Never. Is that the truth? That's probably the truth. Yeah. They can't because you're constantly evolving, right? But if that's an anchor back there that you're holding on to, it's going to keep you there. It's not going to be the same. It's going to keep you there. Somebody got to let go of that thing and move forward, float off, drift, right? Drift to success. Cool. People think this all the time. Oh my God, things are outside of your control. No, the things inside of your control are in your control. You can let them influence you positively or negatively. You can let them do that. You know, something bad does happen to you. You know what else you can do? You can take a step back and look at it from a different perspective. Whoa, that bad thing happened. You are right, the bad thing did happen. Right? Because it did. Not that it didn't. But how you perceive what happens next is completely up to you. Right? I'll say it again. How dare you? How dare you ask for more? Because God has given you everything you need to be successful. You choose to squander it. On the right, things you could be doing. Hey, focus. Can you add value to something? Can you help somebody else, right? Get out of your own mind. Can you help somebody else? Can you be better in your relationships? Focus on things that are inside your control and focus on the big picture. I know sometimes the bigger picture is like really far away, right? Then we back that back down to micro goals. Think about what's the next thing closest to the bigger picture. Just take that one step forward, right? Is it really hard? I don't know. I don't think it's hard. Let's take a vote. Who thinks taking one step forward in the positive direction is a challenging thing to do? At times, yeah. How awesome is it to be that aware that this is a challenging thing to do? But that's not the question. The question is like, now that you know it's a challenging thing to do, what are you going to do about it? Take a half step. Ooh, half is challenging. May take a little bit longer to get there. Still moving in the right direction. Make sense? Cool. This will be my last SEAL story, I think. This story is about breath control, about who knows what stoicism is? I always use that word and I kind of forget to check on learning to see if everybody's talking about the right thing. Who knows what stoicism is? What you got, Kyle?
Just being able to be calm under any situation, basically. Not let things influence you positively or negatively.
Yep. Anybody else? Yep.
Just enduring without complaint.
Enduring without complaint? Yep. Anybody else? What you got, babe? Ooh, that's a big ass word. That's why I don't karaoke.
Like the highs aren't overly high, the lows aren't overly low. Like being having a
calm demeanor, if you will, right? Like a calm demeanor. We see this all the time. Like we see that picture of the ducks floating on the pond. They're like, oh, the duck is all calm. And the duck, right? Well, I just want to challenge this concept of stoicism being like, hey, I am acting stoic, right? That's not really what stoicism is. That's an act. Stoicism is being stoic, not letting those outside influencers influence you, right? The art of being, action, positive. Art of acting, kind of fleeting. Now, sometimes, yes, we can start acting stoic, and it may have some matriculation down to being stoic. So let's not discount that at all, right? We have to practice and train to be some things. Cool. Me and our buddy Dave Harden did. You guys know what? This hit me late. I'm going to share. I'm going to cry is what I'm going to do. I should probably take a breath. Wow. Whoa. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Huh? It's not even that big a deal. I don't know why it just hit me so hard. I've been going through this thing in my life. In my life where I'm recognizing, I told you guys at the beginning, I'm the last of my bloodline. It didn't bother me up until just kind of recently we've been talking about it. I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be no more Smiths. It's just, I'm the last fucking dude, which is a lot. which is cool. I understand I gave time to the service, and that wasn't my thing, and I didn't choose to have kids and all that, and that was all. It's all good. I'm doing it for the right reason, for the right thing. It's all good. But what hit me the other day was we were talking about some of my old friends, right? So my military career is a little bit more. Yeah, I'm just getting this video. No one's gonna else hear that shit. Good, keep it. So my military career is a little bit different, right? So I got picked up from the SEAL team, kind of skipped dev group, went up to a special missions unit, right? In the special missions unit, a lot of special shit happens. No. In the special missions unit, very, very small group, like 50 people, right? There's only 50 people in this entire group. We don't do regular kind of military-esque missions. We do super sensitive, clandestine type of things. We typically do it as a singleton, meaning one person, or a couple, two people, right? Wear civvy clothes, got a lot of aliases, that kind of James Bond kind of thing. It was fucking fun. It was awesome. Cool. Every single mission that I went on was either by myself or with one other person, typically a man. Every single man that I did a mission with is now dead. Every single one. Oh, Mike Wood. Mike Wood is not dead. Yep, Mike Wood is not. One guy is still alive. Yeah, this has been putting some gravity on me a little bit. Like,
Did they pass like during missions or like
no one died on a mission. They died from cancer. They died from, one guy got hit by a car or something. Like just random occurrences of, nice. When I have a reunion for my class, it's like, oh, look, it's just me and Mike. It's been hitting me kind of hard. Anyway, me and that guy, Dave Harden, right? We're on this little training mission. Our job was to plant a limpet mine, which doesn't really happen. It happens, but it doesn't really happen, on a boat. This was actually a training mission in Bremerton, Washington. Bremerton, Washington has a river called the Puget Sound, super, super dark, and there are orcas in the Puget Sound. I'll say that again. There are orcas in the Puget Sound. I don't want to see an orca, man. They're like man-eating orcas. Right? I'm like, for real. Like, Jesus. So we're in dive pairs, right? This is a regular SEAL team. We're in dive pairs, and each dive pair had a specific spot on a big old ship that we're going to hit and put a limpet mine on. Of course, we're on draggers. Draggers are underwater rebreathers, so there's no bubbles. No one knows where you are. It's super clandestine, super sexy. Okay, so me and Dave are down there. We're diving. You only got about 2 hours of oxygen in your tank, right, each person. And after that, you got no more air, because last I checked, you cannot breathe underwater. Anyway, so we're diving down there, and we're doing our tack board. We got it down. You guys seen the movies. We're kick, glide, kick, got the compass. We're like, squeeze, make a turn. Ooh, make a turn. Kick, counting time. Oh, look at that. Oh, sweet, make another turn. Cool. Dave driving on, the guy hanging on, right? We get to the thing. We're like, hey, Dave. And it's black water. It's an old ship graveyard, right, where ships just are, they're dead. They're just there. It's horrible. It's disgusting. So the water's like so dark, so even though we're like this far apart, we actually can't see each other, so you have to like move your hand to get some bioluminescence, that's that little green stuff so you can actually see. So we get to the point where our last attack leg. The attack leg is the leg you go before you plant the bomb on the boat. Then you swim back home and have beers. So we get there, we make our last leg. Hey, squeeze, big turn. Hey, we're about to go put the thing on the boat. Why don't you go go up for a peek, right? I'll stay down here. We're like, cool. So we start swimming. It's cool. I'm always never in a room with other team guys. It's kind of awesome. It's great. So we're kicking, and all of a sudden we hear, boom. I'm like, that don't sound good at all. But we're swimming to go hit a boat. Big ship. Right? We're like, oh, man, you know what? We went too deep. Right? We went too deep. So we're like, hey, I think I went too deep. Let's go back that way. We're like, cool. Kicking. Just kicking. It's all cool. Boom. That shit don't feel good. Hey, we hit something else. Let's try that direction. Boom. Let me check your air, bro. Ooh, you got about 11 minutes. Let me check yours. Ooh, you got about 9 minutes. I'm an asthmatic. I use a lot of air. We're swimming. Boom! Oh, shit. Boom! Boom! Hey, not that we're starting to panic, but I do know there ain't no reset on the panic button, so you got to keep your shit under control. We're like, hey, something's wrong. Let's go back down. Because remember, we swam up, right? We swam up. Air is up. We swam up. And air, up, bang. We're like, let's go back down because we swam up. So we turned around and swam down. Bong. Oh is right. Oh, let me check your air. Oh, now you're at 9 minutes, but let me check yours. You're at 2 minutes. Boom, boom. Every single cardinal direction, we're hitting a solid object. And you know, you can't talk, you're in the water, right? And you're like, we could have swam in the ship. That just doesn't make sense. It's a ship, you can't swim in it. But they got those big like water things you can swim in. I'm like, there's just no way. There's no way. So we get smart. We're like, hey, we gotta start conserving air. We swam down, got to the base, right? We got a 6-foot line, and we start crawling. Bong. Scooch over. Bong. Scooch over. Zigzagging all the way. I'm out of air. Right? I'm out of air. He's got not much air left. Hey, man, last I checked, there ain't no reset on the panic button. So now we're buddy breathing. So we have one volume of air. He's got a couple minutes of air, right? We got to swim on top of each other like this because he takes his mouth to and he puts it up here, so I breathe on it, and he takes it back, and he breathes on it. I breathe on it, and we're swimming. We're trying to figure out where the fuck we are, right? Finally, we hit this opening on the bottom. We swim out to the opening, swim, 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 till we run out of air, then we surface. We surface and we look around, we're like, holy shit, right? Like we're not tactical anymore. We're like, fuck tactics. We're like, I need air, dog. Right? But I gotta keep my mind right. Otherwise I panic, and we know there ain't no reset on the panic button. Right? So I'm acting stoic as a mofo. Right? I'm like, you good, bro? He's like, no, you good, bro? We're just like, ah! We surface, we look around, and on the ship that we're going to hit is a gigantic painting barge made of 55-gallon barrels. It's like 30 feet long. It's obviously going down underwater by like 20-something feet, 30 feet off the boat. We had swam up into this barrel cage, right? Yeah. Maintain composure. Maintain breath control. Maintain discipline of training. Maintain, dude, we're gonna swim until we die, right? It all worked out for us, almost, huh? Obviously, yeah. And then I died, no. The bad thing about that whole trip, so we learned a lot of trust, all the stuff, right? That guy's dead, but he was a good guy. He was actually our chief. The funny part about this story was that the rest of the platoon, right, the other 14 guys, did their mission. They're back at the hotel with hookers blow and hot tubs, right? The instructors are frantically looking for us because they're like, you can only be in the water for 2 hours, bro, and you're over 2 hours. They're looking for us, we're surfacing, and they're like, oh man, what the hell? Right? So they're like happy that we're alive, but not letting us know that. And like this thing called turtlebacking, which is like you lay on your back and you fin, and it just destroys your ankles for like 2.5 miles. It was horrible, yeah. So again, ain't no reset on the panic button. You gotta stay in between, right? So that's what it looked like, well, now that's what it looked like for us, right? Can you imagine? Yeah. The saying up there says, this is one of my favorite sayings of all. I was talking to, who was I just talking to? I'll figure it out. I was just talking to somebody, and I use this probably every day, that I talk with people, work with people, just have relationship or communicate with people. And it means the space between, oh, I was talking to you, Tosh, in the truck. The space between the known and the unknown is called fear. I'll say that again for impact. The space between the known and the unknown is called fear. And a lot of us live there every single day, right? We live there every single day. But how do we break it? How do we break the curse? How do we break the fear cycle? Take one step, right? Towards what? Who cares? That direction or that direction? Go something that's either known, because as soon as you take a step, there's something new that's known. right? It mitigates or chomps at some of that fear base. We just have to make a decision and take action to move in one direction or the other direction, right? When we're really afraid, what do? We go back to the known. We go back to what we learned. We go back to where it's safe, right? Because it's comfortable and it's easy. It's like water running downhill, right? We go there. But what if you made a choice to go in the other direction? What would happen? Who knows? It's the unknown. Awesome.
So did y'all go back and plant the bomb, or it was over?
That was over. There's no more air. Yeah.
Get more air.
Oh, sorry. She was like, what's the end of the story?
You could have got another oxygen.
No, there's no more. That's it. Yeah, we were actually in the failure group that day. Yeah. But I was with the platoon chief, so I felt pretty good.
How long it took you to resurface? If you were out there, how long you have to hold it in? I mean, how?
Well, we don't, because we only dive at like 20 feet, so it's not very far. Yeah, you can breath hold all the way. Well, you shouldn't, but you could breath hold, but you're exhaling anyway because air expands at ascending, right? So it wasn't like, yes, it was super not smart, super dangerous, but as soon as you start going, you're like, and honestly, even though it was dark, you could still see a little bit of lights because there were lights on the piers, right? So, yeah, cool. This is your exercise. Oops. Yeah, this is your exercise. In Trident Mindset, we have a lot of tactics. We have a tactic every single month, a new lesson every single day, right? In the intentionality month, there's a lesson we call, what is your happiness equation, right? In this exercise, I would love for you guys to think about what it is that makes you happy. Like, what makes you happy? Who makes you happy? Make a list of the people who you have made happy. Make a list of people that make you happy. Make a list of activity. This is not rhetorical. We're going to do some work. Tosh told me this is a workshop. And I'm like, I'm not just talking? No. So let's jot down a couple things. What makes you happy, right? And this is a hard exercise, don't get me wrong. It's not going to get done in like 2 minutes, but we're trying to get a start. We're trying to take one step in this right direction so we can think about this as we plant this seed in our head to develop a stronger mindset on what it is that makes me happy. Because if I know what makes me happier, I can do more of that. And if I know what makes me happy, I can also do less of what makes me unhappy. It's like a equal, what's that math problem called? Equal something or the ism. Cool. People, activities, places, topics. Like, what makes you happy? Because I can guarantee you a couple things in life. A, you're going to die. 2, if you don't know what makes you happy, you ain't never going to find it. Like, ever. My wife and her brilliance told me something one time that sits in my life forever. She said, Chris, she looked me in the eye. She goes, it is not your job to make me happy. And I was like, oh, such relief. You mean I can just be me and my happy self? And if you choose to be around me and that makes you happy, high fives and wins, baby. Every single day. It's up to her to find her happiness. And if I am doing something that she finds happy, hey, we got a pretty good relationship, right? A deep and meaningful relationship. So we're going to take like 67 seconds, maybe. One more thing. Look up real quick. No cheating. It's hard, huh? I know, right? It's good. You guys know how many people in the world can't actually do this exercise? Like, it's challenging. They think about things that they think other people would say that makes them happy. Is that right? Is that about right? Yeah. It's kind of crazy how awkward it is to be selfish, huh? You get to think of only yourself for a little while. Hard. Cool. I'm going to finish up and leave a little bit of time for questions. I'm going to be done, but I have a couple slides that I think I just like that I just want to share with you guys. The first one is about commitment. Okay? First one about commitment. Who would you rather be? The monk on fire or the monk watching? That guy, he stood still. He never moved. Talk about committed to something. Talk about not quitting. Talking about resolve. Talking about making a decision that matters to him. Look at the monks in the back. They're like, the hell? The half monk in it. Half monk in it. Third monk. Them dudes are running like crazy. Nice. So let's finish on a lighter note. Yep, we're finished real quick. So your homework is find some time today and every day for the rest of your life to laugh at yourself. You ain't that serious, man. You ain't that serious. I probably laugh at myself 1,000,000 times a day. Matter of fact, I was laughing at myself when I was writing this presentation because I'm really into like ChatGPT right now because I'm trying to become better at it because you can't get around it. So I said, hey, ChatGPT, or Dale, I said, make me some images of Chris Smith Jr., 58 years old, black Navy SEAL. Kind of fit, likes athletics, strong, dead sexy. I said, hey, ChatGPT, come and get some. But I told you guys that I'm a better way person. I'm like, I wasn't happy. There's got to be a better way. So I added some more things into my little search string. I was like, hey, bro. I put in my stats, right? I was like, I'm kind of a powerful position. I'm in a power position. And I'm like, make the girls love me. I said, I know wear Burberry glasses. Nice. that's what I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I would love to answer questions if you guys have any questions or whatever. I'll be open board. We'll do the thing. If you have any questions about whatever, I'm happy and vulnerable.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's it. Cool.